everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're taking a deep dive into a story you think you know, but trust me, you don't. Prepare yourselves, because we are about to expose the real truth behind one of the most famous fairy tales of all time, Little Red Riding Hood. Forget everything you thought you knew about innocent girls and big bad wolves, because this is going to flip your perception upside down. We're talking about a narrative twisted, a hero slandered, and a chilling tale of greed disguised as a morality lesson. Get ready, because the truth is far more captivating and way more uncomfortable than any children's story. Let's unravel the legend together. You know the story, right? An innocent girl, a dark forest, and a hungry, cunning wolf. It's presented as a simple morality tale warning us about stranger danger. But what if that darkness wasn't lurking in the shadows of the woods, but was hidden in plain sight, in the heart of someone supposedly innocent? What if the victim was actually the orchestrator, and the so-called villain was simply trying to protect what was rightfully his? This isn't just about a wolf and a girl. It's a story of manipulation, ecological destruction, and the power of a well-crafted lie. Our journey takes us into the forgotten archives of a place known as Loup-Garou territory, a name that, in a loose translation, hints at werewolf. Here, the legend of Little Red isn't told to caution children about wolves. It's a sobering tale about unchecked greed. Our investigation doesn't start with a picnic basket filled with bread and wine. Oh no! This basket was packed with something far more valuable. Something that fueled this entire elaborate deception, the infamous Golden Lye. Imagine the shock, the betrayal, when you realize the true contents of that seemingly innocent parcel. To truly understand the depth of this deception, we need to uncover the secret of the gold itself. Our wolf in this story, known locally as Lupus, was not just any animal. He was the ancient guardian of the sacred Heartwood Grove. This grove was the sole source of a rare, luminous lichen used to create what we now call Golden Lye, a highly potent dye that fetched an astronomical price in the bustling city markets. Lupus's family had protected this vital ecosystem for generations, safeguarding its delicate balance and the precious resource it provided. They were the true custodians of the forest's wealth, ensuring its sustainability. Now, let's talk about Red's grandmother. Far from being a sweet, doting elder, she was a notorious chemist and a shrewd black market trader. She knew all about the grove and its valuable lichen. Her quaint cottage wasn't a cozy haven. It was a clandestine lab, bubbling with illicit experiments. She didn't send Red to deliver sustenance or a kind gesture. Instead, Red was dispatched as an unwitting accomplice, tasked with scouting the grove and, horrifyingly, planting a synthetic chemical agent designed to kill off the protective lichen. Her mission was clear: destroy the natural resource to monopolize the Golden Lye market. Lupus, our forest protector, was far from a mindless beast. He was an incredibly intelligent, territorial wolf, deeply attuned to his ecosystem. He wasn't looking for a fight. He was looking to preserve his home. He had been monitoring Red's movements, sensing something was amiss. The moment he saw her kneeling, planting that foul-smelling chemical directly into the grove's sacred soil, he knew. He realized that the elderly scout, the grandmother, was the true mastermind behind this devastating environmental attack. His actions were about defense, not aggression. Knowing the grandmother was the real threat, Lupus followed Red back to the cottage. His intent wasn't to consume anyone. He needed to confront the source of the danger. Inside, he found the grandmother in her makeshift lab, frantically mixing chemicals. The pills she was taking weren't for an illness. They were powerful stimulants, fueling her readiness for a long journey, a journey planned to sell stolen goods. This wasn't a sick old woman. This was a dangerous operative preparing to exploit the forest. A struggle inevitably ensued. Lupus, acting purely in self-defense and driven by the need to protect his home, tried to restrain the old woman. She fought back with shocking violence. Let's be clear, she was not eaten. She was carefully, firmly incapacitated and hidden inside a large storage chest, the very wardrobe that later became infamous. His goal was to prevent her from escaping and selling the stolen lie, giving him time to call the forest authorities, not to commit murder. Lupus sought justice, not vengeance. When Red finally arrived at the cottage, she wasn't distraught for her grandmother's safety. Her eyes immediately fixated on the chest, and the truth dawned on her. Her mission, and the lucrative payday it promised, was jeopardized. With calculated malice, not fear, she saw Lupus standing over the chest, and she knew she had to lie. She had to weave a deceptive narrative to save herself and protect her family's illicit trade. Her innocence was a carefully constructed facade. Lupus, in a desperate attempt to stall Red until the forest authorities could arrive, resorted to a truly unusual tactic. He tried to impersonate the grandmother. He wasn't doing this to deceive her for food. His aim was to keep Red calm, contained within the cottage, and crucially, away from the now compromised grove. The heavy cap and oversized nightgown weren't part of some evil disguise. They were the grandmother's own attire, used to hide her frantic, chemical-laced work. Lupus hoped to buy time, to explain the situation, to prevent further damage. The famous dialogue that followed wasn't an innocent child's curiosity. It was a veiled interrogation. "What big eyes you have," Red asked, not out of wonder, but testing his fear, trying to gauge his reaction. "What big teeth you have," she whispered, hoping to provoke him into revealing her grandmother's location, perhaps even where the Golden Lye was hidden. Lupus, cornered and increasingly frustrated, eventually broke cover, hoping to scare her into submission, to make her understand the gravity of the situation. He was trying to protect, not menace. But then, tragedy struck. The hunter arrived. He was a simple man, easily swayed by superficial appearances. He saw none of the context, no lab, no chemicals, no struggle, no environmental sabotage. He only saw a sweet girl seemingly terrified of a savage wolf. He acted on instinct and prejudice, believing he was a hero. Lupus, caught off guard, threw his hands up in a gesture of surrender or defense, but the hunter only perceived aggression. He became an unwitting pawn in Red's manipulative game. The hunter, believing he was performing a heroic rescue, tragically killed Lupus. He then freed the grandmother from the chest. The grandmother, ever cunning, immediately reinforced Red's fabricated story, blaming Lupus for everything. She secured her position and, more importantly, ensured the Golden Lye mission could continue. The happy ending that generations have been told was, in reality, the triumph of a profitable lie, built on the demise of an ecological protector. The legend of Little Red Riding Hood, as we know it, became a timeless tale. But it was a calculated narrative, meticulously crafted by the victors, the greedy and the cunning, who wanted the world to believe that the true protector of the land was nothing more than a monstrous villain. Lupus wasn't a villain. He was the last line of defense against corporate environmental destruction, a guardian sacrificing everything for his home. His legacy was tragically rewritten to serve a self-serving agenda. This story, friends, is a warning, not about wolves lurking in the woods, but about the alarming ease with which we believe narratives of innocence, especially when they come wrapped in a familiar, comforting package. The wolf died protecting his home, his ecosystem, his family's legacy. The girl lived to sell the gold, to profit from deception and destruction. It forces us to ask, which story will you choose to believe? Which truth will you tell? It's time to question the stories we've always been told. Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into a truly unsettling truth. If this revelation changed your perspective, please hit that like button, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe for more content that challenges the status quo. Your support helps us uncover more untold stories. See you next time.